Hello, and welcome back to Redmont. In this week's episode, I am going to be building something that I've always had a bit of difficulty fitting into most of the cities I've built in the past, and that is an airport. The reason this is I always think of airports as kind of a late game development, something you build when the city reaches a certain size, and earlier in the game, I'm usually building out the city. I'm not really thinking about it. And by the time I get around to wanting to build an airport, I've run out of suitable land to build one on. What tends to happen is I just try to shoehorn it in somewhere. I have to make massive changes to the landscape, and it almost never looks right to me. And I've realized I'm about to have the same problem here with Redmont. Now, I know from altitude, it doesn't looks like there's plenty of land, but if we come in really, really close here and look at it from like almost ground level, you can see on every side of Redmont's down in a bowl here, and everything climbs up pretty quickly into the mountains. So in a realistic city, there really isn't like a lot of locations here which would be suitable for an actual airport. Now, I don't want to make drastic changes to the terrain here. That's not really what I do. I like working with the terrain I have. But I'll also mention I make my own maps usually, and I usually think about this sort of stuff during the map making phase. I'm also going to point out here, I seem to be having a lot of issues with hospital coverage. I don't know why this is. There's more than enough hospital coverage for the entire city, but the icons just keep popping up over and over again. It's almost like death care services. It's the same sort of problem. Maybe it's the same sort of class of bug. Not sure what's going on down there. Okay, for the airport. Now, the only real suitable location I can find on this map is down here. This is a section where I was making the interchange connections to the highway here, and I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to be building on this side. This seems to be the flattest area left on the map, to be honest. And I'm just going to remove the trees here so we can get a better look at it. And when I turn on the topography lines here, we can see it's relatively flat. I do have this hill here off to the right. I'll have to do some alterations here, but the rest of it, you know, this terrain down here can be flattened out and leveled out. And I can probably fit an airport in here and it won't look too strange on the landscape. One thing we'll have to keep in mind, Redmont is a medium-sized city. It's not going to be a major urban metropolis or anything like that. So it's not going to have a gigantic airport. This is going to be a regional airport. It's going to be, flights are going to be connecting to other major urban centers in the United States. There might be a few flights to Canada and Mexico, but there's not going to be international flights coming in here. So I don't have to make a gigantic airport. I think it's important to build an airport that's appropriate for the size of the actual city. And that's what I'm going to be doing here. So it's not going to be anything major. I'm also going to be flattening out some of the surrounding terrain here. The goal isn't to make major alterations, just to blend it into the landscape so it looks a little more natural. You see how I'm using the flattening tool here to kind of cut into the hillsides, but I'm not completely removing the hillsides. And I'll come back here with the blend tool and smooth everything out. Pushing this hill back here is probably the biggest alteration to the landscape, but once I'm done, it should look fairly natural. Okay, let's get this airport connected up with some roads. I want to make sure the airport has direct connections to the highway system. I do have this ravine to the west of the airport here, and I thought this would be an interesting idea to make another highway connection here. My thinking here is the city might have required the airport to make this highway connection just to make access to the airport a little easier. I built this highway exchange when I didn't really know what I was going to build up here, so it was pretty simple. Now that we have an airport out here, I'm going to have to upgrade this to something a little more substantial. I wanted something that would fit in with the region I was building here, and I've already used some roundabouts in the interchanges here, so I thought what I would build here would be a dumbbell interchange. I think that's what it's called. And I don't know why I do this every time. The first time I try using the in-game roundabouts to do this, and it never works. It never looks right. They don't connect up correctly. The best way to do this, I found, was to just hand build an actual roundabout with a highway segment. going to be doing the exact same thing on the other side here. Unfortunately, this car wash will have to go. Unfortunately, the first attempt here to connect the highway off-ramps to the roundabout didn't really work out the way I thought they would. And this is just a result of not making the roundabout large enough to handle all the road connections here. So I have to delete all this out and just draw it a little larger. There's the completed dumbbell interchange. Now, I already have one of these over here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to detail it in the same way as I did the first one. This kind of maybe suggests that these were built around the same time and the city had a master plan for how all these sorts of interchanges were built around the city, or at least on this side of the city. I'm going to be using Joe Geski's rocks and boulders here to do a bit of landscape detailing. Sort of indicate some natural features here, that was some rocky terrain that was already here that they had to incorporate into the design of the interchange. I've also been having some issues with garbage collection, so I'm going to be building another recycling depot. Now, they've just announced a patch coming out for the game where they're going to be addressing garbage collection, so perhaps maybe this is not actually necessary, but at the time I was building this, I wasn't aware of the patch, so I am building another recycling center. I'm going to be finishing off the area directly around the airport with a little bit of industry. I think it makes sense if these are distribution centers, so we're going to be adding a few of these. I also have this awkward cutout space here as part of the airport. This is for the cargo hub expansion. I'm not going to be using that because I can't make a railroad connection here. I thought it would make some sense to expand the parking here, so I'm going to be adding some parking garages and more parking lots. At an airport, you can never have enough parking. I'm also going to be adding another road maintenance yard and another parks maintenance facility on this side as well. And these will look like maintenance yards for the actual airport. I wanted to try to make the airport look a little more substantial, so I found this air traffic tower on the mod store, and I wanted to try to incorporate it into the airport in some way. I don't think this is all that successful. I might end up moving it, putting it in another location next to the airport here. I tried to splice it into the actual airport, and I don't know if this really works all that well. The colors are a little off, and the towers don't really match up correctly here, so I'll probably end up moving this. I'm just going to quickly make some outside connections here to the airport so we can get it up and running. It also makes some sense that we have some public bus service out here, so I'm going to add a bus depot. I know I haven't really focused all that much on the public transit in the city. There is bus service throughout the city. It makes sense that it would come out to the airport. It also seemed like a logical location for a taxi depot out here. I'm going to be restricting the street parking here, so that'll force the cars to use the parking lots where they should be. For the rest of the area out here, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to build yet. For the time being, I'm going to just treat it as more of a rural area within the city, just a scattering of residential homes up into the hillsides here. And I'll be honest, it's just really an excuse to build a bridge across the highway here over the ravine. I thought this would look really, really cool, and I just wanted a reason to build a road across here. I want to be mindful about how the city actually expands up into the hillsides around the city. I'm using a custom narrow country road here for the driveways. One issue with these is they don't necessarily connect correctly to the houses. You can see the pedestrian connections there are not working. All I need to do is come back with the invisible path tool here and just connect them up and they'll be fine. I noticed I had these small little divots in the landscape, and these seemed like suitable locations to make some small little lakes and ponds. As I was building out this airport, I was also thinking about a different type of airport I wanted to build as well, and it needs to be in a slightly different location, something a little more rural. We're going to build it out by Willard here, which we haven't been back to since I built it. Still looks the same. I needed to find a suitable flat area. Next to the river here seemed like a logical place. We're just going to smooth out the terrain just a little bit. I'm not going to make huge alterations to the landscape here. At this location, I'm going to be building a small country airport. It's just going to be a single airstrip, and this is going to be only suitable for very small planes. I'm going to be using a highway here just to draw out the outline for the airstrip. And by using the highway, I get some accurate measurements for how long this is. So the airstrip is going to be 650 meters. I believe that's suitable for small planes. But we also have to keep in mind it's a game, and as long as the dimensions look more or less correct, I think it'll be okay. By that 650 meters, I think that's more than suitable. I can now use the highway as a guide to draw out the surfaces for the airstrip. Once I've done that, I can delete out the roads. The first thing I notice here is it's really flat and uninteresting looking. It's going to require a lot of detailing, building up surfaces and decals. I want the airstrip to look like it's been here for several decades, so a lot of wear and tear, aged pavement, markings from where the planes have been taking off and landing, all that sort of stuff. And it's just a matter of layering up surfaces and decals until I get something that looks appropriate. So this is it takes a bit of time. And it's a bit of guesswork, just trying things out, seeing what works, what doesn't, and deleting and repeating until I have something that I'm happy with. The line markings here took a little bit of thought. There isn't really anything in game to do this. There are net lane and decal packs for airports on the mod store. I think Sully put out a really good one few months ago. My problem is they're all for commercial airports, not like little airstrips like this. So there isn't anything that really fit. The dimensions of them were just not correct. So I had to just draw this all by hand here. It's imperfect, and I will point out here, I know nothing about airports. I am using a small real-world airstrip here as a guide, and of course I'm sure I've made all sorts of mistakes here, but from a distance I think this reads appropriately, and for in-game I think this is good enough. The center line here turned out to be really challenging because there isn't anything large enough, wide enough. They're all like for road markings here, so they're way too small. I was also experimenting with detailing the landscape around the airport. Here, I've gone way overboard. I'm just layering up things, trying out things here. I'm going to be deleting all this and stripping this back considerably. But really, this is just an experiment to see what works, what doesn't. And I'm not really particularly happy with how this is looking. For the center line, I realized my only real option was to draw it by hand. I'm using the other road marking net lane underneath it here as a guide. That helps me keep the line straight. When trying to measure this out, I noticed that anything less than 12 meters, the measurements disappear. So the shortest measurement here is 12 meters. That's what I'm going to use for the entire length. Okay, I'm going to delete all this detailing mess here, and I'm going to try this again. Unfortunately, this airstrip won't be functional. It's just going to be decorative, but I did find some really nice assets in the mod store here to fill it out with. These hangers here are really nice. I'm not exactly sure how you would make an airfield like this functional in game. It wouldn't really work as a commuter airport. It wouldn't be able to handle enough people. Perhaps it could be set up to handle like recreational demand for an area. I'm not really too sure. this area to have at least some function, I'm going to add a few small offices. These could be administration buildings for the airport itself. They could be flight clubs. They might be skydiving schools, that sort of stuff. I'm going to be placing this helicopter fire department. I found this on the mod store. This can be search and rescue. It probably also serves the function for forest fire suppression. I found these little Cessna planes on the mod store here, which are perfect for this airport. Okay, now I'm just going to expand some of the detailing for the area immediately around the airfield. It seemed the most appropriate thing to do here was just to expand the farming community that's surrounding Willard, just to expand it out down along the river here. I have to keep in mind I'm right near the edge of the map here, so it doesn't make a lot of sense to do a lot of major detailing or building out here. So it's just going to be a collection of rural properties, a few farms along the river, maybe a few trailer parks like I'm building right down here, and that's all it's going to be. Another thing I'm going to be doing, probably across quite a large section of the map, is I'm just going to be pushing the tree line back a little farther up into the mountainsides. What I've realized throughout the course of this build is the actual area looks a lot better as if I depict it more as open grasslands rather than forested areas. The trees are obviously still going to be there higher up in the mountainsides, but along the river and around the city, it's going to be a lot more open grasslands. Just some final prop detailing here just to finish off the airfield. Okay, I'm really happy of how this is all looking down here. So let's go back and finish off our airport. Okay, I have to be a bit honest here. I fell down a rabbit hole while trying to detail out the runway for this airport. I thought it would be easy to replicate what I did with the small airfield, and that turned out not to be the case. This was really just trying to get this vanilla surface to have a bit more life to it, a little more interest. I don't know how long I spent on this. I'm going to skip over most of it because it's really uninteresting. So I'm just going to show you the start here while I try to figure things out. But I'm just going to skip ahead to the end here because, oh my god, I spent way too long on this. I also found this asset on the mod store. This is a police department. I believe Grooney is the builder of this, and it has a couple of police helicopters attached to it. This seemed like a good location for it out by the airport here. Also just adds a bit more police service to the rural areas surrounding the city. Not a bad thing. And some final detailing in and around the airport. I don't really have a lot to say about any of this. I'm just gonna shut up, play some music, and get on with it. For the detailing around the interchange, I'm just going to copy the exact same detailing I had around the other one. This is sort of to imply that this was all built by the same city planner and built around the same time. Okay, I just have some final landscape detailing to do here, but that brings us to the end of this episode. Thank you so much for sticking around to the very end. I really do appreciate it. In next week's episode, I will be expanding the suburban developments into the countryside and probably adding a few more additions to our downtown core. Everyone take care, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.